MSI, Xfinity, and ESEA.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be getting into it once again here at the XTRFY Analyst Desk. Now, the game is scheduled to, of course, start in about 15 minutes' time, so we're going to go ahead and quickly take a wander through some of the big plays. Yes, indeed, top 5 plays is one of our favorites. I'm joined by Chad and Yanko, and we're going to be delving straight into this one by just taking a look at some of the best plays in the Pro League from last week to go ahead and just whet your taste buds. That's not an expression, what's it? Help me out. Whet your appetite. That's an expression.
Whet your appetite.
Whet your appetite for what's to come.
Yeah, automatic trades here well. Android now next in line. You're surely not going to expect a second player here. You don't. And that's where the danger begins. This becomes a problem, and Android is loving this. Dead Fox in a 1v3. I mean, no bomb pile. He's fighting like a madman. He has got Dupree down. And now a 1v2.
Dead Fox tries to walk out, tries to do what he can, gets the first on Zipix, and it's down to a one-on-one with Bomb still in the hands, trying to get away. I would not, could not in a box. I would not, could not with Dead Fox.
Seb is going to assassinate him and now rush. There's no hope for him. One kill, drops the AK onto his head, gets the follow-up, and there's no trade. 30 seconds left in Rush. He's going to try and make this work one-on-one. Wardell has the pistol out. There's the peek. Rush can't handle it initially. Down low, and there's the frag. Rush.
6 bullets on his AK as well. Oh, does find Happy though. So still an opportunity here. Knows at least where one of the 2 remaining MBS players are. Does have a Molotov as well. Time is ticking though. Bomb halfway through. Oh, that's gonna be perfect really Molotov.
So good. Mage. Oh, this guy is so talented.
Oof. NaVi can get something done. He's out in no man's land though, and he's been blighted. Now they know exactly who he is, and he's got a scout. Perhaps the worst weapon possible, but he makes it work. 2 headshots. Oh, it's the hurt death. He's done it. That is incredible.
That's a taste of what's to come, and indeed we can show you exactly what's coming up on today's show. Not only have we already witnessed one game where FaZe and Envy split the series 1-1, we can see indeed what's coming up on today's show. We're going to be seeing NaVi and NiP, G2 North, and over on the secondary stream we are a little bit of a B-stream update. We've already witnessed Mouse Sports go 1-1 with Hellraisers in rather polarizing games in their first 2 maps. But up next, Astralis versus AGO, a team that actually you were saying have looked incredibly good recently, Chad.
Astralis, yeah, ever since the addition of Magic's Boy, it seems like they're a bit revitalized. They're playing a looser style of Counter-Strike. So this is kind of what happened when Glaive first came as the in-game leader. He obviously brought structure and good strategies in their approach, but they also were still a little bit looser, and then they got very rigid based off what had worked, and then things kind of really slowed down. Now that Magic is back in, they've got that spark and looking hot.
And they looked incredibly hot, actually, in the IEM Sydney qualifiers. Now, I know they had to battle through that qualifier. There was no invite present, and they did so in a sterling fashion. You saw the tweets from the successes of the likes of Dupree just saying, we're feeling incredibly good during this qualifier. And there's what better way than talking about it than showing you exactly how it went down for them as they battled for a spot in Sydney.
Only 2 spots was left to fill for the upcoming IEM Sydney, one for the European region and one from the North American. To find out who would get these spots, 8 teams in each region had to fight for them. In the European qualifier, we first saw Astralis, Gambit, Virtus Pro, and G2 move on from the initial round, leaving us with 2 semi-finals: Astralis versus Gambit and Virtus Pro against G2. In the first semi-final, Astralis made quick work of Gambit in a 2-0 fashion. The more interesting game was between Virtus Pro and G2. Having been recently promoted to in-game leader, NBK has been showing more motivation than ever to prove his worth in his new role. Eager to lift his team out of their rut, this spot in Sydney could be a huge chance for them to get back on top. Just as desperate for a change of pace, however, are Virtus Pro. Recently swapping out their all-time all-star Taz for the younger talent Mihu, now is the time for Virtus Pro to finally get control of the Polish plow and show us just what they're made of after over a year only heading down. With a map win initially going to each team, bringing the semi-final to a tie, it came down to the 3rd deciding map, Cobblestone. And with their newest addition, Mihu, really stepping up,
Nice and passive, hold for the push towards middle, and Mishu lines them all up, and that's the easy ace for him.
Virtus Pro closed out the map and the match at 16-10. But to get to Sydney, they had to defeat the strong-looking Astralis in the final. something they apparently still weren't ready for. This time it was a new addition on the Danish team, Magisk, that stepped up and took the MVP title.
He's on the ball into this matchup. He's been able to find so many beautiful kills with this M4, and he's still looking for more, causing the ruckus as he brings the pain, chops them down.
So unsurprising to most, Astralis closed out the matchup 2-0 and took the spot in Australia with ease. Now one spot was left for the North American region, and it's here that we find the upsets. In the initial round, the teams Ghost, Torqued, Luminosity and Team 1 were all left behind, meaning Liquid was taking on NRG and Complexity went up against Optic in the semi-finals. And being the semi-finals of upsets, we saw the ever-struggling Optic Gaming still without any footing.
Falling apart again from Optic Gaming. You think they're feeling comfortable, you think they'll have numbers, you think they have rotations, and at least a good opening frag, but now it falls apart.
Managing to only get one win against Complexity, they have to give up their dream on Australia. On the other end of the scale, the online kings, NRG, are still going strong. With an absolute dream start to 2018, rocking the ESL Pro League and recently getting a win streak of 10 games in a row, Liquid was no match for them.
But no, Daps will close it out. Massive for NRG, just continuing the momentum they've been picking up over these past few weeks, past month.
They brought this strength with them to the final as well, heading up against Complexity. In the best-of-3 final, NRG closed out both maps quickly and in a grand style.
And that's going to be the end of it, ladies and gentlemen. NRG are going to be the team that will move through and qualify for IM Sydney.
NRG going to Sydney. Can you believe it? I know Yanko certainly can't. Crazy stuff from them. Calling them the online kings as well. A bit of venom coming out from our
No, I said that I was eager to see them play on LAN because they are also a team that had a massive winning streak. They've taken down some big teams. Obviously, here in the qualifier, taking down Liquid, you know, they're going to be definitely hurtful about that one. So it's going to be interesting seeing them in Sydney, and can they translate their online performance on LAN. Another player from the Balkans, Cirque, the Bulgarian. We're coming, Alex, slowly but surely.
Dude, seriously, yeah, taking over. We had, of course, the Lithuanians as well, making an impact over in Copenhagen Games. The Balkans, indeed, are starting to deliver. Now, from one game to another, we get to talk now a little bit more about NaVi versus NiP. Now, this is the first game, first opportunity we're going to be seeing. That's not true either. Don't know where I was going with that. But NaVi are going to be trying to take themselves over the finish line. This is pretty much like they essentially, curveballs aside, are already in Dallas by their 10 wins to their name. Picking up an 11th will almost certainly secure it.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we're in a really weird time because obviously all these roster changes happened, and it was rumored that Simple and Flamey were the guys who were going to go to SK to replace Bolt and Taka, right? That was the big rumor that happened on the internet. Now, the fact of the matter is Zeus made some comments. He made some comments on Instagram, Twitter, you know, all these things. He loves his social media.
Yeah, loves his controversy.
He does, and I can't blame the guy, but it was basically something along the lines of they weathered the storm, right? They were able to hold on to these two players. They were able to make sure that Simple and Flamey stayed with the crew, and that's a really good thing because NaVi, you know, I've been putting stock in them, but it's always been like, you know, one step forward, two steps back kind of thing. It looks like they're going in the right direction, and they're never able to really have any consistency other than that boy Simple, who's constantly putting up numbers. Like time and time again, he's just fragging out. If this team can find their feet, if Zeus can, you know, have some impact, then NaVi are looking like a good team because everyone else is in flux. You know, we have that whole chaos thing going on right now. NaVi are one of the more consistent teams, Alex.
I disagree. I think they're a big part of the chaos.
You think so?
They are 5 human beings who have just got the worst team dynamic when you think about it. Like, this player's being bought out, he wants to go, this player wants to leave, this player's already thinking about leaving, this player doesn't really want to lead. Like, they're just this mash of recipe, like, it sounds like a recipe for disaster, and it does seem that they're kind of rising from those ashes to an extent.
I agree. It's all over the place. You know, what's exactly going to happen now that they've stayed within the team that's going to suddenly make them all like each other and willing to put in the work and play better, and actually play better together, not just individually, right? I just don't see it happening. What they would need is just a massive run of great results where everyone's feeling it, and obviously, you know, the spirits are up when you're winning things, but I just don't see with some of the performances that they've been having, how are they going to beat some of these other teams, even if they are also in a chaotic period themselves. So what does that mean? We've weathered the storm. You know, the players haven't left, but they didn't go to a tournament because how tilted they were because of the situation within the team. We shouldn't forget that. I think it was beneficial for NaVi that there was this like small hiatus from competitive games and playing officials and so on, but I don't know, for me, it's one of the bigger question marks, and my prediction is it's not going to turn out well.
Yeah, it does feel very, very uncomfortable. I think that probably is the thing that most is influencing my comments, is the way Yanko's insinuated that WESG, Flaming Symbol, just deciding not to go to the airport after a bad loss.
Do you know, that could have been from this SK thing, though, because we don't know when it started, right? The whole SK thing could have happened before they even went to WESG. So the idea could have been, hey, we can be playing for SK, and we don't really...
Regardless, you don't tell someone 2 hours
No,
before.
and I think
there is still venom there.
It's going to breed animosity, right, within the squad, right? Because if they have bad results, like, well, maybe we should have left, right? Maybe we should have gone to SK. Maybe it was the wrong decision. So,
Flamey definitely should have gone. It's like, what? I don't know how he was even in the equation. What's the value in him right now?
Yeah,
none. So now he's just stuck again in NaVi for 2 more years.
But the thing is, I don't know where this all comes from, right? Where does it stem within this organization? Because Edward doesn't seem like the type of guy who's going to be rocking the boat too much, right? Electronic is new into... He just seems like a kid that...
there. I think he's definitely rocking the boat.
Edward is?
Yeah, I think he's like one of those emotional types of guys. So I think it's actually where most of the animosity comes from. You know, I can see a situation where he has a strong opinion and then someone says, yeah, dude, but you have like 3 kills. Well, why are you talking at all? Just try not to be terrible, for starters.
So I wouldn't want to be in a team with Yanko. I'm just saying. Yeah, I could see that coming out. But guys, maybe we should try. Alex, you have 3 kills.
Just shut up.
Shut the fudge up.
That's my favorite Ben & Jerry's.
I don't like
flavor.
it. Gets stuck in my teeth too much. I like fudge. Not a big fan.
Oh, but I was talking about the...
It's an old-fashioned sweet. We've improved our technology in sweet manufacturing.
Brownies are better than...
A good brownie over fudge any day.
I do enjoy brownies.
And that's the hard-hitting analysis that you come here for. Fudge is the worst form of sweet.
I don't know if it is the worst
Screw licorice,
form.
man.
That's not sweet.
Well, people consider it. We're in Scandinavia.
It's bitter, right?
Yeah,
it's
but they put like salt
it's
on
horrible.
it.
Aniseed, like that's the flavor.
Oh,
it's not
God.
nice.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I can't escape them in the Netherlands as well. Every bag of sweets, they just, I have some licorice as well.
Licorice fan?
No.
Well, we've established that now.
We could have an hour rant about licorice, but I'm not going to do it.
Well, get started.
Because maybe there's some Counter-Strike to talk about as well. We've talked a little bit about the NaVi boys and how they are in a state of confusion. I mean, Chad, you seem to kind of have quite a polarizing opinion that you think that they're...
I think it's a mess. What I think is just cut off the head of the snake. Like, I think that they're doing okay, but if you want to fix these problems that you guys seem to... I would just cut off the head of the snake and put Angel as the in-game leader.
I just think the NaVi organization behind the scenes as well, they are very much, like, they're not going to let go of Simple. You could see, like, in the way that the media presented it and they presented it, it was clear that this is our player, you're not touching him, and they're going to build a roster around him, if anything else.
Yeah, which makes sense, but then do that 100%. You know, be like, okay, Simple,
who do you want?
Pick your players, and we're going to try and get them if it's possible, right? Because it doesn't matter. Like, people can, yes, Simple is playing probably like the best player in the world at the moment. It doesn't matter if they can't win tournaments. You just have every player is out there to win championships, to win tournaments, and no matter how good you play, you can't do it alone. So it's about finding the right ingredients, right pieces to the puzzle. Doesn't have to be the most skilled players. Maybe it's bringing in more supportive players who can do their role, right? Yeah. Maybe it's get an in-game leader who's going to run a more loose style so that, you know, with players who are more comfortable playing that style. At the moment, things are just too disjointed and not functioning for them to be really a consistent competitor.
And talking about support players, an interesting conversation to be had is when you look at Electronic's performance at WESG. For Team Russia, he was body bagging. He was one of the top performers for the squad, and he was looking fantastic. And a lot of people, a lot of the general community were wondering, why don't we see this in NaVi? Now, my question is he being shoehorned into a role he's not fit for?
I think, you know, there's going to be a few different things to focus on here.
Frag.
Yes, but that's more of a player on that team by leaps and bounds. He could do whatever he wanted, and, you know, that with that in mind, you can probably rack up a lot more kills, especially when your teammates aren't as skilled. You get a lot more opportunities to get those kills. If you look at it and you break it down as he was just locking down bomb sites individually, or he was getting a heap of entry frags or winning a lot of clutches, they're standalone things. If he's having to retake a lot, if he's having to come into situations, you know, where he's mopping up kills because his teammates only got the 87 in one with the M4 as opposed to finishing them off, you have to look at it. You have to look at context, right? But I think in NaVi, he doesn't get as much room.
Yeah, I don't think that's the context, though. I don't think Electronic, for me, is not Stewie 2K. You know, he's not that in style, a flashy player that makes things happen by himself. And he did that at WSG because it was weaker opponents and also, you know, weaker teammates, so easier for him to stand out. I think he just did the things, similar things to what he does in NaVi, or more so what he did in Flipside. But he just got to do them, you know, and he did it properly. I feel like he is a bit constrained, not maybe in a role that he wants to play 100% within NaVi, and that's why he can't fulfill his potential, so to speak. You look at that lineup, he's the second best player against after Simple, right? You look at Flamey. I mean, Flamey hasn't been a great player for a long time now, you know, compared to what we saw from him initially when he joined the lineup. You know, reminds me a little bit of Nico from Heroic. He had his like amazing games, and that's what brought him into the team. And then he also had some good games in the beginning. Now it's few of them and very far apart, you know. And he's also not the player you expect the most from in this lineup. Even when Guardian and Simple were there, Flamey was the third best player. So that should give you, you know, enough comfort to really just, you know, do your own thing and not worry about having to carry the team. So it's about, okay, Simple is obviously the #1 player, but let's make someone like Electronic also have a decent degree of freedom so that he can play better.
Absolutely. And I mean, talking about freedom, there's no better example of that in NiP. At the moment, of course, Dennis has taken the in-game leadership role and started with a very bare bones approach to Counter-Strike. And we are getting to see a rather clear kind of step-by-step climbing of that tactical ladder.
We are getting to see this team develop, right? It's because they've come in, and when you change the in-game leader, you change that whole approach. So Dennis coming in with Pitta now, you've changed the people at the top of the food chain, right? You've changed the decision makers. You've sent the people to do the strategies, right? So a coach change and an in-game leader change changes almost all of the dynamics, and you'd hope that that is a good way for this team to take a big step forward. I think the progression we've seen with these guys is early. When he first joined at Katowice, it was just contact plays. It was playing as a unit, just playing basic chemistry, communication, playing off of, you know, rotations, nothing crazy strat-wise. Slowly, we're seeing more and stuff getting added to the repertoire. And going into Overpass, we should see even more. And coming into this matchup, it's really weird to say, but I think NiP is going to have a better T-side than NaVi, which I don't think I've historically ever been able to. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think the progression that Chad's talking about, I think it's been going too slow for NiP. You know, in the beginning, okay, there was a couple of tournaments, then travel to NA, come back, remove exist, all that stuff. But really, these players are not rookies. You know, they're experienced players. Even the likes of Draken and Rez, they're newcomers, but they're like so into CSGO, right? They were born and bred there. So you making the adjustment from just going for contact plays and having more strategies, that's not something you have to wait a month to see right exploits. So I guess it's a matter of, yes, you can see that they're going in the right direction, a bit too slow for my taste. I don't know if I'm being maybe too harsh, but I think they have to do better and they have to do more if they really want to come back into the top of CSGO.
Yeah, it's certainly something that's open to discussion as well, is where do NiP end up? And in fact, I'll open this discussion up to our casters as well as we continue to watch some of those frags ring out. Forest and Get Right bottom of the scoreboard and seeing the new bloods on top. I guess this is a sign of the times, Henry.
Absolutely. It's good to see the young guys doing well again, but I want to see Get Right kind of get back to his old form. I think that's been a real problem for NiP generally the last year or so. Like, he just hasn't been at his absolute peak. And it's
in an interview, he said it's not his role anymore. I mean, I don't know how whether that's excuses or...
I think that's the issue. I don't think it's the role. I think Get Right has it in his head that he has to switch the role to be a more supportive player, and I think he's struggling to get back into that killer kind of mindset that he used to have. There are so many fights that Get Right takes where it feels like he's outpositioned them and he's put himself in the perfect spot to get 2-3 kills, but he doesn't seem very confident or aggressive with the way he takes the fight. And I think that's where he's kind of dropping the balls. He's too much resigned himself to being that support player and allowing the young guns to take over.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so well, maybe Get Right can find, you know, the balls a little bit better. But I'll leave it. Love you and leave you though. That's Henry G and Jason Moses.
Thank you so much. Almost had a bit of a blunder there, Jason. But
did we?
Yeah,
it was a blunder.
Didn't catch it?
No, I didn't actually.
Well, we'll just move on. We'll move straight past, and we'll get into the first round as we'll see whether NiP. I think it's difficult to say the favourites. I think NiP are a solid Overpass team. NaVi have definitely looked kind of shaky on this map as of late. We'll see what they can do though, Jason.
Listen, NaVi's looked pretty shaky on pretty much every map of late.
Hey man, they got to the grand finals at Star Ladder.
Outside of Simple, they've looked very shaky on everything.
Well, for now it's Forest leading the way with Rez towards the B-bomb site. Contact play. It's going to be walking in, handing themselves up towards the CTs who are waiting defensively.
Not even a single flashbang was thrown, but great shots from Rez. Actually gooshed down Edward to 15, gets the opening kill onto Zeus as well. It's going to allow the plant to come in, and actually they've got really good positions. That's a bit tough. Draken trying to make the run into some cover, and he's out in the open. Those USPs find him easily. Dennis can't swivel around quick enough. They have to take advantage of this low HP on Edward if they want to win this 2-on-3 scenario.
Yep. Remember, this is 5 sets of armor for NiP. They've got no grenades to hold off this retake, but they have got firepower. Doing a great job so far. Get gets the first, and Rez needs to stay alive. He's low at this point, but it's not slowing him down whatsoever. Manages to get another kill there. 3 versus 2. NiP come out on top. Didn't even get near the bomb there, Jason. NaVi couldn't get that retake going at all.
What a round from Rez. The opening kill, not only that, but 2 more to be added on. I think he even got an assist. I mean, when Edward eventually goes down, he got the goosh on him. So incredible damage from Rez in the round.
You have to say as well that NiP bringing Dennis in, their pistol is going to be their forte now, right? The fact they've got him, especially on the CT side, these USP kills. You do Spectans win a lot of pistols these days. That's one amazing thing that Dennis will bring to this team overall. And Rez is the one to step in that particular round. There will be a force buy here from NaVi, CZs, and some armor as well. Simple. Of course, the AWP doesn't go all in. It gets a P250. And it should be the first kill for Dennis. Maybe not, though. The CZs out dueling the AK at range. And there will be a 5 versus 4 just like that, with a good nade from Forrest coming in. Might be able to do some significant damage. Doesn't actually touch them at all. And they're going to be trading out frags. It's getting a little bit touch and go. This is the trade again for the CZ, surely. But no, Simple only the P250. He can't find it. And the round slips out of the grasp. Forrest down to 1 HP there, as Edward will be left at a 3 versus 1. Certainly still possible. I use that word of bated breath, but we'll see whether he can maybe find one more kill and upgrade to a rifle or something like that.
He'd have to get some sweet, sweet loving from the CZ gods, wouldn't he? Like, I mean, you know this gun can just get those instant headshots, and Forrest should be an easy cleanup if they're able to find him. If NiP were smart, though, they'd kind of use Forrest as the bait, right? 1 HP, you send him forward, you let him clear all the corners, you just let him try and figure out where it is, and actually they've just hit the pause button, which is pretty cool as well. So much time on the clock for Edward to have to maneuver into a good position and find out what's going on. So much time for NiP to find him, and they do. There's the kill, and Draken trades it off immediately.
And that's fine. On the C side, sure, you give it 3 kills, but you keep 2 alive, and it's going to be a full eco now you're up against. So it's not a huge deal here, as NaVi can't really justify purchasing anything here at all. 1 P250 might be the very most you'll see. Let's see if Electronic does that. Nothing purchased.
Simple, obviously, saving up for that AWP into the first round as well. Yeah, this is cool though. I mean, look at Get he hasn't even bought anything. He's just going CZ. So is Dennis. They know it's going to be an easier round. They took some of those losses. So instead of trying to recoup it with bonus money and perhaps being stuck in the next round with an SMG, they just keep the CZs. They have an AK. They have a UMP, and even though their buy isn't as strong as it could be, they still have just a massive advantage due to the no armor. Yeah, the running gun potential of the CZ against unarmored opponents as well. I feel like the first team I saw kind of really start doing this was actually, oddly enough, it was G2. Yeah, I think it was Malmo, wasn't it, where they started playing those rounds where the third round, if they won against the force buy, they just shots would keep a pistol. Yeah, Kenny would keep a pistol, and they would just kind of go that route for saving money. Get Right's going to spot this out pretty early. Timing of his shoulder peaks, and he's just going to give it up. No reason to take that fight, although the bomb is in a very sticky position, isn't it? He'll get it, though. He got a very early bit of information. I don't think they even spotted him, so they're going to continue with their T-spawn push. This is crazy, though. Like, they could be in stairwell. Like, they could have popped up and perhaps taken out that bomb. No, I'm obviously picking out every single worst-case scenario, aren't I? But small risk there for NiP. Yeah. Averted, though, as Electronic... I didn't really try to get anything here. Gets the P50 in the end. Oh, this is Draken not looking too fabulous here. Down he goes. Not the greatest position. That's an AK. Yep. Henry, all on its lonesome. So Zeus is going to have that, and I imagine he'll just want to run away. He does present himself, but finds the frag. And even though NiP going to win this, expensive. NaVi is going to be so happy with getting away with the 1 AK-47. That was the only rifle that NiP brought into this. So you can almost say a victory of sorts in this round for the NaVi side. As good as it was ever going to get. Yeah. Sometimes you got to be happy with that, Henry. Sometimes you got to set the bar low. Well, Dennis will be looking for anything he can get here. Looks like Forrest will chime in as well. That's the Glock. The unarmored opponents will do a lot of damage, and everyone does go down at the end. They will not save the AK. So the victory we're talking about, it's all gone. Does quickly go. it's all gone to hell. But it's okay. Simple brings out the AWP. Daddy is home. We'll see whether he can step up here. 1 and 3. Are going to be one of the most skilled players in the world. I have discussion, I think, in Budapest with Matt. If you had to give me your top 3 AWPers in the world right now, like gun to your head, what are you going for? Oh bloody hell, the whole shebang. Yeah. I'd put Simple up there, obviously. Okay. Guardian and Kenny at times. I think they struggle with consistency. I don't think you pick Kenny in there anymore. I think Oscar's taking number 3. You think Oscar? That's not bad. I wouldn't have picked both of them, but like they both have their inconsistencies. Anyways, back to the round. The B bomb site is being attacked and is being taken and is being destroyed. Simple with that op hasn't even been able to get into the action. Yeah, they're gonna have to save. So just like that, we can go right back into the op. You know who I'm excited to see that actually qualified for IEM Sydney, Henry. Perhaps the most exciting team that I have personally going into that event is Energy.
I don't even know who's in on it. I'm honest. Who's in that team?
You beautiful,
I know there's a
beautiful
UK
man.
coach
It's
now.
so
He's
good.
coaching them.
It's so nice that you're good looking.
Yeah. Well, who's in that team? I couldn't tell you one player.
It's Ethan. It's Cirque, who's the operator of the team, who looks great in the online games. He's had some offline games that are very well, but this will be cool to see him there. Yeah, they have a solid team coming up that's going to be.
They've had some good run in Pro League so far, right?
Well, this is the thing, that they're playing really well in Pro League at the moment. It looks like they're definitely going to be able to qualify.
I saw they've won like 18 of the last 20 matches.
Yeah, they went on this ridiculous streak, and right at the end of that streak is kind of the qualification for Sydney. So that's why they're exciting to me, is because this is what you want out of teams that are hitting this good run of form, that have improved and stepped up in a big way. Is that you want to see them qualify for some of the big events. Take advantage of how well they're playing at this very moment. Like it's always such a shame when you see like this upstart team come out of nowhere and have like a really good month, but maybe fail in the qualifier in the finals or in the semifinals, or maybe not able to even try and qualify for the event for some reason, and then they have this great run of form and it all disappears before they get to go to an event.
Well, that does sound exciting to me, Jason.
Did I sell you on him?
Not
really.
I can remember Cirque. That will be interesting. I'd see what he can do. If I cast him, I'll give you a shout out. I'll say, look, Jason was saying this team's going to win the entire event. He's got them.
Definitely.
He's been telling everyone to bet on them. Like, it's the secret pick.
Yeah, he's doing it all.
Yeah, that's
the hype man.
No, I like it when small teams like that come out of nowhere and like cause a dent in a big tournament. Like we just saw.
It might not even be a dent anymore, though, Henry. If you think about the context of the North American scene with Cloud9 making these roster changes, there's an opening there for Energy to get towards the top.
Yeah. We're seeing more and more C9 changes come through. I mean, nothing kind of dropped the ball the other day with his stream announcement.
He really did, didn't he?
Just like, so we've got this guy. I'm not going to say it now, because I think that's unfair, but go check it out. Like, you can see what he did say. It's very interesting. It's true. That would make sense considering who's in that team already.
CLG is back.
Baby.
Well, Simple's back. He's got that opening kill thanks to the boost, and now he gets an aggressive position. They've stacked this bomb site. He's got 3 teammates here to keep some space between him and the opposition, so Simple primed to have a phenomenal round. We'll see if he can do it. Good kill from Flamey. They're still keeping them at bay. The Deagles out front. There's one more peek, and Simple goes down. That should be it. That's the main danger. Simple not able to build on that opening kill. I think he was just too blinded and too boxed into the truck.
Absolutely so. And he gets 1 kill in the round. This is normally one of his stomping grounds. Overpass, to be fair, most maps are. Oh my goodness, Zeus is making this possible. Bomb's only just been planted, but this one round that won't be realized for him. Caused a bit of financial damage. As you can see, plenty of money on the T side here. A couple of them hovering in the 5-digit mark, and this might be a Nico. I was about to say, there's actually money left over. As Simple brings out the AWP, Flamey as well. There's Dennis getting it done with the AK. Side is spraying them down. Gung-ho in towards the A side. That shot, especially on
Simple missed that shot, didn't he?
Yes.
Wasn't ready for the stop short. It's Kramer's move.
That's absolutely true. We're going to get into round number 6 here, Jason. 5-0 for the Ninjas. As they'll make their way towards A. Get right looking for the boost there. Anyone jumping up just like that. Can't quite snap to the head. Ambitious to try it. But still alive. Didn't take too much damage there. Just one. As he flashes off towards short, he'll be quote-unquote lurking towards this side of the map, as he'll just be holding up and waiting for any sort of aggression with the CTs.
The double up setup at a NaVi. Flamey taking the second one as well. He's been pretty solid, and Electronic almost caught out in the middle of a jump, and Rez wanted to push on that, and Simple bails him out.
Rez gets that bloodlust. The young player just saw red like a ball to a piece of, what's that called? Just red cloth?
Yeah, it's just a cloth.
It's
probably got a legit name.
Yeah, I think that would have sounded a lot more powerful if it's the actual name.
That's all right. I think we all still get it. The bullfighting thing. Well, Simple still going to remain. He's still got the bloodlust, doesn't he? He's not backing off. 2 different angles that he's got to worry about. You can see him flicking over and considering it as he knows that smoke fades away. Spots the jump from one. Going to take the fight. Now he's pinned in. He's got to fight his way out, and the no-scope doesn't work. Dennis finds that kill.
Looking as sharp as usual, Simple. You miss those are kind of difficult shots, don't get me wrong, but ones he normally hits. Electronic, the one and done position, not even good for that. Draken takes down him, and the CTs have to just fall back at this point. They have to wait for the reconnaissance to arrive. It's going to be, oh my goodness, nades all over the place. And there's Dennis going down, but a lot of information gathered. 3 versus 2, no grenades on the NiP side. It's what a story for NaVi. They have got 1 smoke to make things a bit uncomfortable. There it is deployed. Still have to make their way towards the side though. Edward can't do it. Flamey with no kit. He'll get 1 kill here, maybe not even that. Forrest manages to find 2 in the end. The whole team looking quite simple in terms of their approach. He's not the most advanced strategies or anything, defaults into executions, but they're capitalizing the advantages they get. As soon as Simple missed that first shot, if you take a player like him down, it's quite likely he'll be calling, I'll play A by myself, you guys stack towards B. As soon as you take down him, you're right, he's playing up front. The reason he's playing him in the bathroom is because he wants to get early kills and fall back and hold it like a turret by himself. So there's good capitalization there from Forrest and co. And a nice couple of kills from him to finish things off. Edward and Flamey can do nothing about it.
Putting himself in position, though, to have like the degree of difficulty of those shots in bathrooms are not good. A very sliver chance as they kind of crouch peek past the initial opening, and then it has to be a quick scope or a no scope. So tough for Simple to handle there. And NiP is making Chad look good. Chad said NiP was going to have the better overpass overall, and at the moment, it almost feels like NaVi needs those kind of high individual performances to overcome that in a lot of their opponents, and they're not getting it here so far.
Well, even when they have these kind of score lines, you'll normally see Simple at the very top, like 15 kills, trying to do what he can. He's not really doing much at all right now. He's on 3 and 5, so that's bad news for everyone involved in that team. Fantastic for NiP.
Yeah, they're loving it, aren't they? They're living the dream. Really, really good start for them on the T side, and they've got NaVi back onto pistols, CZs, P250, Deagle on Simple.
Yeah, partial buy here, leaving the money around 2 grand, which is quite common. A maximum loss bonus on the CT side. Get some armor, upgraded pistols, Zeus with a gap on that smoke. One that won't find him much, I don't think. Hoping this terrorist oversteps the mark. You obviously can't really see from that angle how bad the smoke is, but down he goes. Simple will take the first bit of damage there. He's currently positioned towards long A. And takes another shot to the chest, down to 34 now.
Still over a minute remaining, so Rez is happy with just taking those long-range duels and not committing a whole lot. Doing a little bit of damage on a Zeus and Simple. The bomb is now rotating over through the playground to meet up with them at long A. And this allows them to use the range of the AK-47s to great effect. Flashbang's utility used to clear out all these narrow, close choke points against the CZs. Not going to find any danger there. It's this Deagle on Simple. Ouch. That's actually a great shot. A sliver shot and forces down to 5 HP. I think Simple might have even tagged him through the wall at that range as well. He's going to go back for more. There is a player now with a close-up angle, and his teammate is exposed. Simple has to back away. Electronic is going to have to push forward, but actually he turns. Dennis was caught out in the open, and actually great damage on the Force makes this a dangerous round for NiP. Not able to crack into the site yet. Great kill from Flamey. They're still holding on. Rez and Get Right turning the tides of the battle. A 3-on-3, but they're slowly getting whittled away, and then there's the young guy. A quick sequence, a triple kill from Rez.
That looked nice. My goodness, got to see that on a replay. We'll see how it looked from his POV. Here we go. Rez on the bomb side, lines him up, knocks him down very fast, very flashy, and he saves a round. Shots against pistols, but that's a round looking like they were destined to lose it.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Rez bails him out in a big way. That was always a cool conversation they had on the desk. Is it time for NiP now? And I think that's a good point, because I think the conversation about guys like Rez and Draken can no longer be on young and inexperienced, right? They've now won it. They've won an IEM championship as well. It's no longer, we can no longer really talk about the potential.
Since these guys came in, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like they're still learning. They've had it a long time. A year in Counter-Strike is a lifetime. Rez not going to do much for this. Neither can Get Right. Good push. A bit of aggression from the CT at this point. Good flashbangs used to push towards the short pipe and completely destroy them. Obviously, everyone knows that Get Right will be playing there usually by himself. You can kind of pinpoint his tendencies and flash him off. Sweep coming in from the CTs here. Flamey gets another. Bit of an awkward kill towards Dennis, but he comes out pretty much unscathed. And so it'll just be Draken now left in a 5 versus 1. So good change of pace there from NaVi. Yeah. Adapting to what their opposition are doing in their defaults and shutting it down.
Getting themselves into the game as well. They've been pretty passive throughout this, outside of a couple individuals in different spots, but this time taking the fight, and I think they're going to be happy to find those 4 kills. Obviously, they probably only expected to find 1 or 2 with that kind of aggression. They just wanted the map control. Draken, there's too much time on the clock for him to save this AWP, so he's at least got to try and find a kill or 2 before he can do that, and he will find Flamey. Slowly backing away.
Seen 5 versus 1s in this kind of scenario before. Guardian, if you remember.
Yeah.
Over in Katowice, that was quite an exciting moment on Overpass. I don't think we'll be seeing those sort of heroics here. It doesn't look like NaVi offered themselves up too much. Only one player going down. Draken will just try and cause as much damage as he can. He's got 7,300, so he's got grenades there as well. He might as well just save it, because the money he'll get next round is not comparable to what a kind of kit he has at this point. He's got about almost 8 grand's worth of all the utility, the P250, the orb, the armor. So he might as well just hold on to it.
The mustard, the mayo, the buns.
The garlic down. No, that's going to be a thing you'll hear soon, I guess. When's the next event? They're doing ECS, I guess, at this point. If you want to hear
they're doing
food-based commentary, you can just tune in with them.
I love it.
I love it as well, don't get me wrong. It never ceases to amaze me how he comes up with new things like that.
I never knew what a Sunday roast was until...
I had a Sunday roast this week.
How was it? Good?
Lovely, home cooked.
Was it on Sunday?
It was on Sunday.
So it was an Easter meal?
It was Easter Sunday roast. Big time.
That had to have been a fancy roast.
Well, it was okay. Very beige. We didn't throw too many vegetables. Like, we just have the parsnips and the potatoes going on with chicken and Yorkshire puddings. Like, it looks very brown, the whole thing. So it was nice, though. Good job.
Yeah.
Well executed.
How does Bardolph make this exciting? He does it. I don't know. Simple with the AWP. Flamey's got his as well.
Double orbs set up. You're right. Flamey taking over. I remember it was seized with Guardian for the longest of times. Obviously, those players are gone now, so Flamey stepping into that role. Simple, obviously.
Flamey's actually been surprisingly, I've really enjoyed his AWP. Surprised to say that I think he's been pretty impactful with that weapon at different times. So that's been a little bit of a revelation that's very cool to watch. NiP is very far back, out towards T-spawn. They haven't really been able to progress a whole lot. They've dealt good damage to Simple and forced the defense back at A, and now readjusting towards the B-bomb site. Yeah, they looks like a contact player at this point. No one lining up any smokes. They send the AWP in first to check towards barrels. No one going to be there, though. Edward using that smoke as a bit of a veil, as Draken will be going in first. 5 kills to his name so far. Look to the site in a second. Molotov's in. There it is. Smoke down, and they have got the B site of sorts. Edward still can cause some damage here before us, maybe a little bit more. Actually be traded out, but not even that. Edward had to hit that shot to even give him a chance at the retake here. Simple, though. Another missed shot, Jason. It's all going wrong for NaVi tonight. I still don't think they can justify a retake here. They have got kits, but this is a reset round. And this could go horribly wrong if they give up all weapons. Oh, nice. Oh, that is unfortunate. Yeah, and I mean, they have a lot to risk, don't they, with the 2 AWPs, but they're going to do it just because I think the reset round, now they've got the kills to maybe justify it. Get Right's picked up an AWP. He's not an AWPer, but he's making it work. Flamey, another miss and a leg shot. He's going to back away, and that's the signal now. Good job, Get Right. Yeah, fair play. Maybe he can do it all. He can do it all. And we'll see. Flamey and Simple save the AWPs. Right call. Definitely not going to win the round. He can still win the next round with these 2 AWPs. And it's still going to be a very solid buy, because remember, NaVi in that previous round had all 4 players survive. So, I mean, Simple can even drop an M4 and refresh some of his utility fine. Going to be tough otherwise, but the 2 AWPs makes it pretty much to the point where I think if you're NaVi, you kind of have to force buy around those. You're not going to have a double op set up as much as you'd like down the stretch of this game. Well, this pretty much means the entirety of this half for NaVi is based around round number 10. They lose this, they're like double Eco Town. So they have to win this one, really. Hate that town. Nothing there to do. Yeah, this is a bit of a nightmare situation for a lot of pressure on Flamey and Simple. It's enough for a buy, but it is a reset. They have to win this one. They can't go 9-1 down and then be facing a double Eco. Well, Simple's got the aggression again to open things up. An off angle on the other side of the fountain. Usually a smoke would come in to cover this, and actually as time goes on, he wants to back away. Looks like Forrest was even prepared for that angle. Jumping on top of the fountain in different ways. You ever jumped in a fountain before? University thing? Yeah, I have actually. Really? Yeah. It's a very American thing to do, isn't it? Is it? Jump in a fountain. Yeah, you imagine like people in like films like American Pie, they jump in a fountain, get drunk. You know, American Pie, yeah, all American things. You know, American Pie was based off my high school. Really? Yep. The writer went to my school, so he comes in and gives speeches. The hot dog place is a real place, and so is NaVi destroying everyone in this round. Zeus is pushed up. Good segue. The underpass. It's where I do my best work. Yeah, 5-on-2. NaVi in the must-win round have managed to pull it off. By the looks of things, not over just yet, but looking very good for them. 5 versus 2, Drake and low HP. Down to just 17 points of health, 35 seconds here. Simple. No, he doesn't have to really do much with this now, as he does spot the feet of one of the players there, like trying to guarantee frag at that point. The cleanest of kills, but they all count. 5-1. Drake and now the money's starting to be whistled down a little bit for NiP. They'll get 1,400 to next. They'll have one more buy. Be great if Draken can save the AWP again. 15 seconds might not be possible. Zeus punishes him as he flies a fly out, baits out the shot. And there we have it. 8-2. The must-win round works out for NaVi. Still going to be fully invested into this round with all the utility they need to buy? It doesn't mean they're out of the woods just yet, does it? It just means definitely not. Like they now have a chance to still make this into a pretty close affair. Game. Yeah, they can keep it within reach, especially considering the Deagle is out on Force. The money is gone for NiP, so one more win and NaVi's done it. They've clawed themselves and kept themselves into it as much as possible. Problem is, it is a CT-sided map, so yeah. you do want the 9-6 at this point. Like the 8-7 would be ideal. I don't think that's possible. I think I just watched NiP use 2 smokes in that Molotov. I think they miscommunicated it, which is a bigger deal than you'd think, considering how much utility they have left now. That all
what are you up to? What is that?
Simple wanted to take that repeat all day long. Good find for him.
Yeah, that was a strange decision for Gary. You know, there's an all for that. Like, oof. Brave to run around the open, but still. There we have it. Opening pick.
You do always feel like you can kill them on the repeat, though, don't you?
Sure.
You're always like, all right, now I've got the angle. I can just hold this.
It is simple. That's the problem. I guess that's the point. You can't be too scared of him. That's one of the things as well. If you're too scared of him, that's when he gets even worse, because he'll just be having so much fun and toying with you and just waiting for you to be scared. So I guess you do have to challenge him and not allow him to do whatever he wants. So fair play. 5 and 4. It's going to be simple now. It's in a shot. Yeah, not looking quite as sharp as we'd expect. Wide peak coming in from Dennis. 4 and 4. One of the key players, the key player of NaVi.
Yeah, Simple was looking at the top of the stairs. He didn't expect that swing to come from close up. Now the defense is all here, though, and some of that damage. Rez had been brought down to 20 HP. The nade finishes him off, and Electronic is going to hold strong inside the bomb. So they've got so many players in front of him. Force, some phenomenal entries. 3 kills for him.
Ooh,
coming out along.
That's gotta hurt.
That is spicy.
Wow, okay, well, Edward, not really much he can do there. Forrest is looking sharp tonight. 3 kills for him, a lovely spray. We can catch up his POV. I'd be very appreciative.
We should bring back like 80s basketball commentary.
How would that go?
Forrest entering into the bomb site and whamma ding dong. Something, you know, something mad like that.
Whamma ding dong. I'd like to go for the WWE style.
Okay. You did some of that at the show match, didn't you?
that was my favorite casting today, I think.
I find it fascinating how many people in esports were into WWE growing up. Like Richard and Duncan know everything about it.
I'm hosting a WWE night in London this Sunday, 8th of April. It's in London, Shoreditch. Go on my Twitter if you want to go check it out. Ike, you can play games against me in the run-up to WrestleMania.
Okay.
And it's being hosted by me. And it's going to run from 11 p.m. till 5 in the morning. So come down, watch WrestleMania with me, play games against me, drink beer with me. It'll be a lot of fun if you're over 18, of course. And Jason, you going to come down?
I might actually. I got nothing going on this weekend.
I've got a free house.
I've got a hotel.
The lady is away.
The missus is gone.
You can stay with me.
Okay.
Got a spare apartment. It's going to be WrestleMania Sunday evening, Shoreditch. Go to my Twitter, check it out.
Well, that sounds like a wild ride.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
That could be my London night.
Do you know that night where I was DJing at DreamHack? I'm basically on that level. I'm going to be going that hard.
Ooh, I can't miss that, can I?
Yeah, I think you're all invited. So let's make sure it's a thing. That's my plugging done. Jason gave me a nice opening there with WWE.
I did provide that for you. I'm going to be there. I'm sold now. How much are tickets?
£8.
That's not bad at all. Well, Simple's going to get a chance again to be the spearhead, and he's got a knife out, which isn't ideal. And the flick over from Dennis. Simple gets caught off guard as they crouch right underneath that ramp. And there goes Zeus, although Edward through the smoke is going to find a kill onto Rez. There's still one player in the doorway for NiP. It's Get Right brought down low, so he can't really take those fights. The bomb is being planted. It's going to be another tough retake for NaVi.
A very tough retake, one that might not even be possible, but that shot is. Get Right goes down to the CZ. Getting a bit sick of that weapon at this point. I think I was saying that over in Budapest as well. I was like, well,
we've had enough now, haven't we?
Can we please stop? I mean, the Tech 9 got to the point where I was so done with it. I was like, I can't even bother to cast anymore. CZ's getting to that realm now.
He's getting there.
Yeah, like, I think for me, being an analyst, like, you know, like when you're trying to break down and they shouldn't be able to win this round, they win every single time. It's like, well, there you go. The pistols beat the rifles every time, one-on-one. One-tap headshots running with the Tech 9. What can you say about that one?
What can you? Edward's going to try and take some guns away right at the end, and looks away just at the wrong moment, but does it just enough to get Dennis. Silver linings there. Not really going to pay off with this kind of a scoreline, 2-10. Yes. As NiP wrestles back control, though there's could be another buy from NaVi. Electronic can drop. They could have a couple SMGs. It all depends on how much confidence they have to kind of win the last 2 rounds after this, right?
Absolutely.
Apparently it's not too much. Looks like they are going to buy into it. Or as Simple as bought up all the way. It's actually a late call to buy into it.
Well, I guess at this point they need all the rounds they can get. Take some chance. You've got a save weapon. A couple of them. Might as well just give it a go. It's not a great game so far. It's nothing to really write home about. We thought NaVi had a chance, but then Forrest shut it all down. Now, push the short. I mean, this worked so fantastically before. That flashbang they had. Will they use the same one? They are indeed. The flash is in, but they've already used this tactic. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
That saying does apply there.
It does, doesn't it? It really
does
works.
Very much, yeah. Then NiP was set up perfectly to stop it. And here's drinking with the AWP, raining down death. 4
chunks
on 2
of death.
Chunks of death. All the chunks all over the place.
Well, 4 versus 2, Electronic and Simple will have the work cut out for them here. Money is really the headline here. It's something we talk about a lot as casters, about now more than ever that NaVi really are in the bin in that sense. They've got a 4-on-2, Money's not there, and the next round they won't really have that much of a loss bonus going for. I think they've probably had 3rd, 4th stage, I'm not sure. 3rd stage.
Well, I mean, now NaVi with this kind of a scoreline, they're just in like the force buy until the game is over.
Yeah, you can't really take any EKs now. That's a nice shot from Rez.
That was a beauty.
Insult to injury at this point. Electronic's like, well, guys, I don't think I can win this one. I'll give it a go. Have you been impressed by or sold by Electronic yet? And everyone's saying he's the firepower NaVi needs. Are you convinced by it at all?
I mean, we know he has it, right?
But
we just haven't seen it. I have not been impressed since he joined this roster now.
I haven't thought, wow, that's why he picked it. He had one of those great maps. He got like 40 kills. He's like, okay, now I can see it.
You know what really pisses me off about it, Henry?
Go on.
You know what really grinds my gears?
I think I know what you're going to say, but go on.
You know how he had that magnificent game on Mirage to stop Team Liquid getting to the PGL Krakow major?
Sure.
Where he had like, it was like triple overtime. He had like 50 some kills. He was magnificent.
I remember.
Why couldn't they have this Electronic in that match? Like why, why did it have to be then?
And he steps up in 3rd overtime, man. That's when it all comes together. He's like, you know what? I'm warmed up now, guys. I don't know. Like, I don't see it. I'm honest. Like, for me, he doesn't look like he has superstar potential. He can be a decent player. I don't see him ever being one of the big names of the CIS region, though.
I think he's got it, the potential. I think he's got the skills to do it. I think something in this team is just I don't know. Something's obviously not right within this lineup with the way they're just playing in general, right?
And the speculative move towards SK
so there's got to be
Simple and Flamey they want out.
I think generally speaking across the entirety of the scene, I think one thing that the community and sometimes us downplay is the effect that like the internal like the team condition can have on how players play individually. I think there's a little bit of a lack of respect for just like some kind of internal problem, personality clashes, not a great feeling within the team, and how much that can make a player play well below his ability.
Yeah, I think when we saw him in, was it Team Russia when at WSG?
Yeah.
I think he played really well then. Like, I think when he wasn't held down by, I'm not going to say Zeus, I don't want to call him out like that, but I'm just going to say held into a strict team, you can see he doesn't do his best work. Maybe something a bit looser, that's when he can show us what he's made of. And I think we saw players like that from World Edit, for example, when he wasn't under Blade.
Yeah.
And a similar thing, I think his Team Russia as well, he played phenomenally well. So it goes to show you, sometimes these like real iron fisting game leaders can stifle some of these big names.
I think it's the product of, these are some good kills though from NaVi. Hold the thought because, well, we can talk about it now. There's not going to be action for a while. I think it's has to do with a lot of younger players getting more opportunities to play in the top tier teams. And I think as you get the younger players who are coming up through the rank S's and the FPLs and like the more pug style systems, this is how they're learning how to play, and they're going to want the leashes off them. Where if you take kind of the old school players from 1.6, I'm assuming Source was more in terms of like a more structured playing style than kind of the puggy styles. Yeah,
it was all about execution based stuff, like default into execution. That was pretty much every.
So I think now that we're getting like the new crop of players, the pure CS:GO players, as Chad calls them.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. I think it's exciting time to have all these young names turning up, like, and from regions and countries that have never been CS nations, right? We saw, obviously, Bosnia doing massively well with players like Nico coming out. We saw over. Probably talk about this game, Jason. We're having like a podcast going on. Like, well,
we slipped into that real easy. Well, now's the time to say it.
So, like, obviously at the Copenhagen Games with Imperial just winning, you've got players from Montenegro turning up there and like doing an amazing job.
That Serbian team qualified for Marseille.
Right, and it's like there's more and more of these regions and young players getting a chance, and I think that's all because of like these systems like Rank S and FPL. People are getting noticed. We never had those back in our day. We had like the very best like IRC Gathers.
Yeah.
Well, not really the same thing. There's no stream platform on to showcase the skills, even if they weren't playing the best players. I think it's fantastic. I think it's really nice direction CSGO is going in. But this is an aggressive push. One that wasn't necessarily working out. Electronic needs to show us how good he is at this point. Stuck between the fountain and the party area. Down he goes, but Simple still alive and kicking, but not for long. Forest once again takes care of him. 3 players dead on the A side of the map. You can pretty much guarantee you've got a clean run up until CT spawn. Flamey will just jump out and be on 1 HP. How has he survived that?
I don't know, Forrest wasn't ready for him to come out, but it doesn't matter. He's going to complete the frag anyways. Yeah, Electronic obviously not one of those players that has done the jumping in the fountain, as you mentioned earlier.
I'm
not a fountain jumper.
Can you just explain the scenario to me as we get to halftime, why you were in a fountain? What happened? What was the lead up to you going, guys, let's go in the fountain? Did you just graduate or something?
No, it wasn't like a celebration. I think it was probably just like a drunken dare.
So you were drunk. Americans drunk in a fountain. Name them more. Iconic, a cliche thing.
I want to know, why do you think it's an American thing? Is it
because it's just from all those films like Dude, Where's My Car and like Road Trip and
do they jump
American Pie, just things like that. Obnoxious things. that are young. In the early 2000s, there's films about young American guys doing stupid things.
Like jumping into fountains.
Like jumping in fountains, like having sex with pies, all that sort of thing. Like that was what you guys were into.
It's a coming of age thing, the pies.
Well, it finally hits CSGO.
It is the apple pie as well, by the way.
It is the apple pie, it's true. Half time, 12-3, NiP. Who would have thought? I guess their home map of this one. They're looking quite sharp on this one recently. Electronic 13 kills, Reds 13 as well, comparing some of the similar roles within the team.
I think if you're gonna talk about NaVi on the defensive side of things, I think it was the AWPs that they seemed very invested in having the double op setup, didn't they?
Every time they didn't really do anything with you.
Yeah, and even Simple missed some shots. He had a couple like opening kills with the AWP, but overall, I don't think he put together the sequences we're normally used to seeing from him.
Yeah, Simple 9 kills. It's very rare for him not to be at the top of the scoreboard on this team. And he's set in second place with this very slow game from him. Nothing to really write home about.
Yeah, this is tough. This is dicey.
And they go on the T side.
Yeah, they do. It is going to be way more difficult, isn't it, for NaVi going forward?
Especially lose a pistol. That's pretty much game done.
And as you mentioned to start, we're coming full circle here because you mentioned the pickup of Dennis onto NiP, probably the best pistol player in the scene.
Yep.
Gives them a little bit of extra strength and oomph.
Bit of extra mustard on the hot dog.
Yeah.
As you would say.
I would say that. I like. Is that an American thing as well?
I think so. We don't really have hot dogs in the UK that often. It's not really a thing.
They do have them here in Denmark, and people try to tell me that the Danish hot dogs are better than the American hot dogs.
I know, they do this thing right. They have like, it's inside. It's not like 2 pieces of bread. It's like a
right,
hole
I've
in the
seen
middle.
it, yep. And
we had it once at a gas station, remember? In Poland, I think.
Yeah, we did.
I love those hot dogs.
I was a little bit worried about that.
It's real nice, actually. I think they're real juicy and lovely. The sauce is right down in there.
It is interesting because they put the sauce in first, right?
I think that's great.
You think that's great?
It kind of covers the entire hot dog, and it's like really well spread out, and like every bite is like lots of ketchup, lots of meat and bread, and the bread is always like really soft on the outside but toasted on the outer.
Yeah,
you know,
has
like,
that a little bit of a crusty shell.
Yeah, like it's delicious. There's
one hot dog now.
I had one last
and
night.
A pie.
When I turned out, I landed at 10 p.m. and I had a hot dog and a beer from the airport. Wasn't the best combo at that time of night. Made me very sleepy.
Yeah, that could knock you out.
Yeah.
Well, 12-3. Here's that pistol round for NaVi. They absolutely need to win.
Yeah. It's the first map of the series. 2 separate maps played, I should mention. But no one going towards B for the CTs. They do have Get right there. Very passively. He's not going to be boosting everything. He's going to be jumping up and trying to hunt for information. He's going to have 4 players on the other side of Monster there.
I talk about this a lot on in North American broadcasts. Is one of my least favorite pistol rounds I see teams do is the retakes where it's like set up to be like a 5-on-5 retake.
Yeah, the bomb goes down and no kills.
I just don't feel like CTs win them enough, which means Get Right at some point has to maybe try and get 1 kill, but they're already into this site, and I think he's missed his opportunity.
Much to do with this, yeah, because the fact they're already planting, he might as well just wait now. He can't deny that. And there's a player waiting the connector as well. That's going to be Flamey, and he pretty much has a guaranteed kill depending on timings. He can just come in at the end if he wants to. Reds doesn't have any idea, and why would he? Down he goes.
Okay. The patience game. He's making sure there's not a second player that he can build into that. Dennis coming in, but it's too late. Now all the health is just far too low. Get Right. The first one there and the last alive. He's going to get a headshot. He does have a kit, but not enough HP to take out all 3 players. And you almost might want to think about just saving this kit. You never know when that can come in handy if he can get away in time. But a nice pistol round from NaVi, helped out by the setup. An easy passageway into the B-bomb site. And that'll be 4 for them.
There we have it. NaVi do win the pistol. There will be a Force Bias Swords here from NiP. You can see on the CT side. Dennis, just to note, switched over to the P2000 now. He used to be so iconic with that silence USP. Changed things up. Just a small note. Get right, 11 deaths, 8 kills. I like this. When you have these sort of leads, Jason, you do not need to force buy into this round. Take some upgraded pistols, no armor. Make sure you get the defuse kits, the utility, the AWP. And if you're going to go 1-dig someone, you're going to do it in 1 shot, right? That's why it's called a 1-dig. You're not going to take any damage before. It's just going bang as you kick over the PC. And
that's well timed, wasn't it?
So you did that. I don't really know how we got into this rut in CSGO where you're just wrecking your own economy by having to force buy. That was never in any iterations of CS we ever did that. We didn't do that at 1.6, we did that at Source. The CSGO, all of a sudden, we started force buying after losing the pistol in the second round, like, every time.
That was a trend that teams have been slow to get out of. We're seeing it more and more, though, even though when there's not these big leagues. We're seeing more teams on the CT side.
I think it's time to realize, though, if you're going to win a game, especially in best-of-1 environments, you really want to set yourself up for an abysmal first half because you're unlikely to win that first gun round with just 5 and 4s, no nades and defuse kits. Like, why would you go over all these defaults and running how the setups work if you're never going to have the money to even run them, you know? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. This makes much more sense. Get a deagle and go for the 1D. If you, like I said, you're going to get a 1D, you're going to get it. Like, he's still alive for us. He definitely had a chance to get some kills there. Armor wouldn't have made a difference.
Thank you, Forrest, for displaying that concept and theory from Henry G perfectly.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, that's appreciated.
Have you got any idioms you'd like to drop in now? Like any sort of sayings or?
Not really.
No, nothing appropriate?
Not off the top of my head. You got something?
I would say like...
It's good for the goose, it's good for the gander.
Just for the first one you can think of.
Doesn't apply here.
Doesn't apply in this situation, but it is a good one. Yeah. We'll come back to that. I'll see if I can think of a good analogy for that particular idea. 12-5, this should be the full eco now for NiP. As we'll see what Runner 18 has in store for his MAC-10s, AKs, and pretty much full eco for the CTs. Dennis opting for the Deagle. We did speak about his pistol prowess. As he'll be going towards long, 15 kills to his name. Just a note, bit of an A stack here. Open B bomb site, which does not bode well considering the current terrorist setup.
Simple's on the hunt with the MAC-10 as well. Sure, he's going to clear out the staircase. Get Right's the only one here, so he's got no one with him to even take the attention of Simple away. He's going to go down for 3, as it takes a little bit of time for Simple to clear the corner out. Down to about half HP, but good opening frag, and the rest of the defense leaning towards bathrooms and this A bomb site. Meanwhile, Flamey has been aggressively peeking and probing in towards the B bomb site, so bomb's going to get planted there. It's taken over with relative ease, once again, like the pistol round. And it'll be a third in this half for NaVi, and they'll be up to 6 in total as they try and get started in this comeback.
Reckon we'll get 1, but yes, the round pretty much guaranteed to be going in favor of NaVi at this point. They can recover, I think it was a UMP towards a connector. Oh, it was one of the MAC-10s, in fact. So that's not really much use for anyone going into the next round. Rez might as well try and get a kill with him and take the $600 bonus. That's about as good as it'll get. Electronic, though, pretty much perfect position. No real chance he goes down here. It is. And they'll just look for any exit frags here. Wait for the T to get a bit greedy, perhaps.
Good shot from Dennis. Got a couple kills here. Economy's so easy to manage on the T side, though. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Not too big of a deal. But every little bit helps. 6 to 12, the guns are going to come out. And you can just see, because of that kind of tactic that you know, Henry so beautifully outlined in the second round, there's plenty of nades that go along with this.
Yes.
That's the other risk of the force buys. In the first gun round, you generally are missing very, very much. This time, not so much. 5 smokes going to be on the board, 2 kits, which is beautiful. AWP on Draken as well. Simple still got that MAC-10. He hasn't upgraded, although he's got just under 7,000. And this looks like it might be, I was going to say, a faster tactic for NaVi towards the B bomb site. And actually, it's going to be pretty fast from NiP taking over those short sewers. And they're pretty much given control early on. So NaVi, they have no map control towards A. They've called an execute towards the B bomb site right out of spawn. And this can be difficult for them now.
Here we go. CT's pushing off towards short, but Flamey already making his way in. Bit of a contact play here with some backup Molotovs. Forest very low, but Dennis certainly isn't. Can only find 1 though. 3 versus 3 certainly favors the terrorists, considering they're on the bomb site already, locking Draken out of the site. He might stay for 1, but he's burning to a crisp. The Dragon seems to be taking damage from the fire. It's going to be still the plant coming in. Rez will do what he can here, but get right to drop a smoke in front of short, not towards that area, to allow his teammate to get a bit closer. Rez will be flashing, get right in as well. Edward will be playing in front of the flash show. Looks like this round is going in favour of NaVi, everyone. This Draken hits an amazing shot. Close range of the AWP. Edward's in a really nice spot as they'll make their final come into the site. Edward looks away at the wrong time. This could fall apart still. Flamey has to really perform, but it looks like the round will be over. Draken with the AWP can't get it done, Jason. And it will be NaVi keeping the dream alive and maybe even staying alive. Overall, they could still win.
Yes, they very much could. A couple nice rounds like that moving forward, and NiP, if they're unable to stop them, this gap in the score can close very, very quickly. It helps very much as well. The AWP is salvaged for free. Remember, Simple started that round with the MAC-10, so not having to invest in that weapon is pretty big for the T side, especially if NiP isn't able to get a whole lot of damage done. This NaVi economy can really, really grow. There were some opportunities in that round for NiP, though. It looked like Dennis was going to do enough to get a follow-up kill towards the base of the ramp, and then at the end in the 3-on-3, but just able to hold him off. Draken blinded and falls away.
Just the pistols, Jason. It's not looking good, is it?
It's not great. It's one of the worst feelings I think you can have in Counter-Strike is...
Should we just get the pistols in?
Yeah,
all right.
Guess we're doing that.
CZs, P250s.
What's your pistol of preference?
I hate the CZ. I actually can't use it. I complain about it a lot, but I am shocking with it.
Maybe that's why. Do you think if you were good with it, you'd be like,
if I actually played since it came out, I haven't really played the game since it came into fashion, like properly.
Came back into fashion.
I play like one game a month of that. So for me, it's like difficult to pick up a weapon I've never used before. I used to love the 5.7 until that got nerfed into oblivion. But here we go. CZ showing us what it can do. There's the first kill. I used to love the Tech 9, obviously. I think the Deagle still for me, like, I'm sure you experienced the Source Deagle and how powerful that was. This became one of my favorite weapons.
Anyone in the world could be good with the Source Deagle.
Hey man, it took a different caliber of player to be the best. If you wanted to be the best, then you could be a god.
Were you the best with the Deagle?
I think I was one of the better Deagles in Europe.
Here we go. Now we've got him talking.
I think I had quite an infamous one in big games, especially. Like I could bail my team out with a few Deagle picks. The thing was like it was very down to movement because you could run and gun with it.
Yeah.
So if you could sneak through some smokes and like kind of time things well and flash people, so flashbangs are so effective as well. One good flash, push through, you could make some huge openings. But speaking of which, openings coming in for an IP. It's Forest with the secondary AWP, Rez with the follow-up frag, and it will be a 5-on-3 looking for their 13th round here. 1 minute 30 remaining. Forest will be joined by Draken in the AWPing department, taking down Edward. And here we go. This looks like a guaranteed round for the Swedish boys. So rebuilding their team.
0% chance that NaVi wins this, would you say?
I think it's a 0% chance, yeah.
Right. 0% chance, says Henry. We'll see how it goes. The double op setup for NiP, obviously, 2 kills, working better than the double op setup we saw of NaVi in the first half. So this is a brilliant start. Not a must-win round for NiP, but they'd obviously like to get on the board earlier rather than later.
Do you think we could like develop some sort of computer learning thing where it is analysed every pro game of CSGO and then it could give us a real solid percentage of every kill coming in? It just tells you this team's got a
like percentage chance of winning the round for this team. Yeah.
After like every kill that came in, they could work out every variable and everything and see everything. Like, I think that's how Valve are operating with that anti-cheat right now. It's called the machine learning, right?
Deep learning.
So you have like a computer analysing every single player over and over again, and when they know they've caught a cheater, they take those examples and take that as an example, and then they kind of apply that across the board to every player, and like over a certain amount of time, like I don't know how long it takes, like hundreds of thousands of hours of analysing these data, it can kind of come up with it. So if you did that with the round percentage win, that could be quite a cool thing. Why don't you get on that, Jason? You kind of
I know how to do all that stuff.
Yeah, you come up with that. Yeah. I'll join you. I'll be the face of the project.
Yeah, we're gonna need one of those. You'll be the guy out in front.
Yeah, I'll be the one
on the streams
in the turtleneck on the platform. You'll be backstage trying to. It's not working, Henry.
The first time we'll do it, we'll have to set it up just so it works perfectly, even though it doesn't actually work whatsoever.
Have you seen that Steve Jobs film that's going on?
Yeah.
That's my favorite part of the film. It's like backstage trying to make it coded so it actually works. It's just like, just
While
do
he's
it.
Going
it
on.
works 1 out of 5 times, Steve's like, we're doing it anyway, and it worked. So
that's a big gamble, isn't it?
Yeah.
Those are some odds. He got rewarded for that as well.
I think that was when they were trying to send like an email live on stage or something.
Was that the one that was the Ashton Kutcher one?
Yes, that was actually pretty good.
All right. I thought the other one was better. Either way, we'll go on. We digress. 8-13.
A few times tonight.
Rez with the M4, waiting patiently, walking around the corner. Great kill from him. Can he get the follow-up? No, Flamey. Crouch slides right under his bullets and is able to get the kill. No presence towards the B bomb site this time for NaVi. They've been focused there every gun round previously. And Draken with the op now. Waiting for someone to walk through Picnic. Not happening quite yet. 2 players coming upstairs, so he's pretty much going to be trapped in this position. Here comes a nade. He's going to get blinded. He holds his nerve, fires a shot, and now just plays it safe.
4-on-4. I'm trying to kind of take more the Anders role with you. Like, you know, I'm trying to like kind of say weird, mad stuff like that.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's bringing me right back home. It's bringing me home.
See what you can say about it. Like, bring some like AI stuff into it. And kind of, what else are his favorite subjects? Like UFOs?
Most of them we can't really talk about, can we?
UFOs is a good one for him, isn't it?
UFOs is good, yeah. He started to get into that, I think, around the major, and we just told him to stop, so it's been quiet.
UFOs.
Great positioning from Flamey. Is still alive, though. He's
got dinked by a CZ, I think.
He's been brought down to about half HP, but the fact that he's making this like a 2-front battle for NaVi means they have to push in towards Bank. They have to plan on the other side of it, so a lot of pressure going to be on Forest coming up to clear out all these corners and find a safe path into this retake.
3-on-3, certainly favouring NaVi. Good positioning from Electronic there. Forest trying to retake with the AWP and the CT area. This certainly isn't ideal, like we said. Electronic good position, but has he given himself up? Missed the spray, but still alive. Forrest waiting for another chance here. Bomb ticking away at quite some pace now. Over the halfway mark, Garai comes in. Not going to check the one and done position, it seems. Ooh, will he? No, not going to happen. Makes a bit of a meal of it. Dennis will take him down for that. Forrest got dropped though, and Dennis will have no chance of surviving that. And that's a reset round from NaVi. We might be getting the full distance here, Jason. Round number 23. Money not looking too good for the CTs. Only one eco required, but
no, it's really not ideal, is it? I mean, all 5 players surviving in the round they won means that they still have plenty of money built up. The question is, do you want to risk it in this where you're going to be missing quite a lot? So, yeah, the pistols are going to come back out again on Forrest and Dennis. The Deagles are there. And NaVi having a much better T side than we might have expected after watching them the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. Never over. Looking for double digits now, and then really have got a game on our hands. Shot from Simple, as you'd expect. Takes down the pistol player towards long, spots another. Can't quite find that though. Draken will survive. At least for now.
Just that small presence out towards long. Actually, NaVi doesn't look too keen to go try and take that away, do they? Just holding him pinned in, making sure he can't re-peek, but no AKs coming over to solve the problem. Probably assuming that he's fallen all the way back. There's a great kill with the AK-47. Rez had picked that gun up in the stairs and takes out Zeus. And now all 3 players of NaVi are very far back underpasses where they're going to try and make their play. Just over a minute. They've got plenty of time to make this work. The question is, GetRight is right behind the door. And that can be a very awkward position. If he hears a footstep, he'll be able to call it out and maybe get aggressive.
There we go then. Draken trying to lock them in, but little does he know they're actually coming through the connector.
I think they have a very bad read of this, don't they?
Yeah, he's going to be calling, guys, it's B. I've called it. It's all over. You can see everyone's rotating in and like, yep, it's done. I've got the big flanks coming in. Oh, baby. Watch this.
No. Yeah. Guys, I'm going to get them all.
Guys, just don't push. I want to kill all of them.
Nobody die. Nobody die.
He's going to be A. And now he's confirmed that, like, Draken, you told us it was all B. Well, Molotovs will go in. At least giving them a bit of time. 10 seconds of the plant comes in. Nice open plant there from the T's. Doesn't look like NiP will be winning this round unless some heroics come forward. Rez, though, not going to be able to do that. And might be able to get another kill here. Simple just patrolling the CT steps in as he looks down with the scope towards the graffiti area. Looks like GetRight comes in with a nice jump up. Couldn't quite stick the landing.
Had the chance, had a couple nice shots, and Draken wants to take the shots with the Deagle. And it's a fickle mistress, isn't it? Simple's going to get position over towards top stairs. There's a great peek out. Dennis had thought he went deeper, but he didn't. And all that's left is this AK-47 in Draken's hands. Might as well try and save it, but they're heading this way as well. Actually, just one player. It's Edward. And he's going to get the kill. So no AK-47 save for the Ninjas. Doesn't matter. They have plenty of money to get whatever they want. But 10-13 now. NaVi, this comeback, it's on. It's official.
It absolutely is. 7 kills for Zeus. Oof. Yeah.
It's like that stub toe feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, just like, yeah, we're back into this. He's like trying to rile them off. It's like, come on, guys, we got this. Either way, it's been better than 8 on GetRight. He's had one of those very quiet games from him. I don't really see the logic in people saying, oh, it's just a roll now. That doesn't really...
You don't forget how to kill people, do you?
Like, yeah, like he's still going to have opportunities, but dying that many times, still an opportunity to kill people. It's not a roll thing. You go die here. Make sure you don't kill anyone, though. Die. It's all
Be
about
a good support player.
Yeah, like
die
that's
with no
not a thing. Like no one's role is to die in CS. Like if anything, the support player, you're going to survive and try and clutch it out. You know, like Zipex does.
Listen, I would love to have my role in Counter-Strike be the guy who dies. I'd be so good at it.
Just thrown in as a cannon fodder.
Yeah.
Like you go in and die. Make sure you die. You have to sell this fake. It has to be convincing.
I'm the #1 player at my role.
Yeah, you don't want to do any kills because that won't seem as sincere. We need you to die. Like make it look like a failed attempt. Yeah, I feel like he's just dropped off the pace in terms of his own overall fragging, which is unfortunate. I'm sure he'll bounce back though. He's definitely a legend of the game, and yeah, there's always a bit of chance for him to find that form again. This game might not be it though. Either way, Draken with the AWP. Looking towards long. They're going back towards B this time. If he wants to make that call once again.
And there's that boost over at the B-bomb site to watch for short sewers. It's an off angle, but Forrest could be able to catch one coming out of doors, which no one is there for NaVi. But even if he's able to just grab one quick one cheeky kill, the trouble is going to be the grenade situation. A little bit of a utility situation for NiP, not a whole lot of it. GetRight's blinded. Here comes the peek, a blind opponent. That should be a kill, and it is. That's the bomb. So far away. GetRight not able to do more. Gets some damage, and he's delayed things. Dennis is here, and Forrest playing behind the smoke. He's just going to get sneaky. He doesn't want him to know he's there. Now they have revealed themselves, and Dennis has 2 kills, 6 HP, and here comes the attack from NiP. They do not let NaVi take over the bomb site. That is so well done from Dennis and Forrest.
Yeah, and the boys, they might have got a ton of kills there initially, but get right, that very important kill to get the bomb so far away from the teammates, that's going to slow them down a lot. Like 5 seconds to go recover that, clear out the areas, and you can see the rotations coming through. Forrest arrives just in time to join Dennis, sits in the smoke. Tactical pause coming in, I'd assume from NaVi. Indeed it is, as they'll be looking to see what they can do with this particular round. Are they going to change things up? Are they going to see if they can give a different sort of pace? It was a very fast round there towards B. Dennis, I think he got a couple of frags here, but then it was Forrest who really come in and drive the round home.
Edward needed to get that kill. That was a big one that might have allowed them to open things up. Because remember, Forrest was playing right behind that smoke, so he wasn't actually trying to defend Dennis. He was almost just saying, I'm just going to bait you. Like, you're going to go down eventually. They're not going to expect me to be here behind this smoke. And then I make my play. But because Dennis survived, makes things much, much easier. Timeouts come to an end. Freeze time dwindling. How much money does NaVi have left? That'll be the question. They have, I mean, I think this buy will be fine. It's the next one that I'd be worried about.
Well, we'll find out.
It's not great. Zeus is on a CZ.
He might have even dropped a weapon for a teammate the way he's playing right now. Maybe he's like, you know what, take mine. Either way, round 25, double up setup still, and Zeus will be towards that connector. The CZ in hand. This sort of range might not even be a disadvantage, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point. Clearing it out. Nice and easy.
Going for a boost again towards shorts. Same player. Forrest will be looking to see what's available to him. That's an angle despite anyone committing to the short pipe itself. Can look towards the squeaky door as well. That can't quite find that first kill. That was Zeus with the pistol. Very good a chance of any to get the kill now. Kind of fluffing his lines a little bit there, but does take down Flamey eventually. Re-peek. Does work out for him. Still some wallbang potential there. Zeus tries to get it. Looking for match point. NiP there. 5-4 right now. Forrest will find the opening kill. Plenty of utility on the T side. They'll look like they'll head towards B to finish things off here. Simple rotating through. Has got the AWP. Sometimes won't be the most impactful weapon in situations like this. The AKs can cause a lot of havoc. They just want to buy and build him some space as they get into the site to allow him to finish the round off.
Well, here it comes. Rez gets dropped immediately. Great shot from Electronic. 2 openings, 2 entries for Electronic. We were talking about what he can do and what he brings to the table, and he certainly showed off there. 3-on-3 scenario, and Simple with the AWP. Now that he's got the space, it's his time to hold the angles and
save the AWPs.
Yep, it's all over. Double AWP setup. Dennis and Drake in that round were not able to get involved. No kills for either of them. And NaVi's still in this. 11-14. You're going to get your wish, Henry, all the rounds.
It looks like it will be all the rounds from a 12-3 scoreline. NiP can't quite close this one out yet. Another reset coming in. They do.
I bet if they had fully invested in the second round, they would have ended this game already.
Probably.
Yeah.
You never know, though. As Drake will hold on to the AWP. Looks like Dennis will as well. So the reason I say they probably force ban the next round because they're going to be double eco anyway. You can see the money's about 2k. You've got 2 AWPs, which are very expensive weapons. You might as well force into this round and see whether you can get it done with the UMPs, Deagles, double AWPs. They might even go all in here. We'll have a look. They might.
No, there's no way.
They might do, Jason.
There's no. Well,
Draken 2 AWPs.
Draken can drop an M4.
Ooh, I wanted them to do it. I was feeling it.
Yeah, I could tell you really wanted to. With all your economic talk, being smart and everything, you really wanted them to go in.
I think that was a great call. Let's get those dorps up, get the CZs out. At least the CZ per player would have been good.
Well, they're going to have a chance. They're going right at Draken, and if anyone's going to turn this around on its head, get right. Oh, this is awkward. He's got a nade in his hand. That's not going to do a whole lot. The USP as well. Draken's got to find an angle around this smoke, and he does have it. They're going to be wrapping around. Great headshot from him. Needs the follow-up, and he gets it. One more. Draken with mobility is taken down by Simple, but Rez is here to pick up the weapon, and that's too tough of a shot for a lot of people, and certainly him. Flashbang out is going to allow Force maybe to go for this flank. Maybe they've taken attention away. Electronic, he turns his gaze, but again, it's only the USP and a headshot, but no completion. Dennis in a 1-on-2.
See, Jason, if you just had a couple of CZs there, could have been a dream.
Yep, that might have been. You're actually right. If they just had something upgraded.
Yeah, could have been it. I think when you got 2 AWPs, like, it's definitely more conservative. I'll agree with you. Yeah. You've got a higher percentage chance of winning the game outright if you just do what they did there. You should have more money overall. But if you want it to be flashy and close it out, I think double AWPs is definitely enough, but it would have been a risk, definitely. Either way, 25 kills for Dennis and Electronic, just to note. Hold on, why is Dennis on that team?
I was waiting for you to notice. I noticed. I think we're going to get a technical pause. I think someone dropped out of the server, so everything kind of moved up one. Yeah.
That's not good news for anyone.
No,
Imagine he gets
nobody wants to
cloned.
play against two simples.
Like, they managed to get like, Terminator started, like bring 2 of him in. And
or bring him back from the future.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. They bring the T2000 version of Simple, like who's got like liquid metal now.
Yeah, and
instead of just a default.
He can be any form. So
Yeah.
you think he's a different teammate.
He can be anyone.
He
could
could
just
look
turn
like
into Cold
Zeus,
Zero.
but he could be Simple.
Yeah, that's crazy. What a horrible thought that is.
It's a wild ride.
What are your opinions on cloning, Jason? Ethical?
I'm all for it, man.
Yeah? If you were told when you were about to die, we can take your DNA, we're going to clone you, and essentially you'll be your own self coming by being born again.
Okay.
Would you do it, knowing it won't be your soul essentially, but it'll be you as a person coming back?
It's a very deep question.
Maybe he gets a book,
Yeah,
like so what you did in your life, and so you've got the same DNA. got the
Okay,
same
so
thing
it's
going
not
on.
like what's that movie on Netflix now? There's the Altered Carbon or something like that, where it's
I haven't
like
seen
you,
that,
you
I've heard of it,
basically
yeah.
download your consciousness into
Sure,
a new
that's
body.
Black
So
Mirror
it's not
style
quite
sort of-
it's not quite
yeah.
downloading. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'd be up for. I guess me, so it doesn't really matter if I care. Does
But you
it?
get like you get this, this one life going forward will have all your knowledge and everything you've done.
Everything I've learned, just not my memories.
Just not, well, this won't be you. I guess it won't have your memories. It'll just be you, your
So,
exact mind, so you can know this is what you're gonna like. You'll love all this stuff. You get some shortcuts. You're good at the piano, so you just go learn that. Like,
yeah,
I think that's maybe a film we should write.
Yeah,
Jason
you think that's
O'Toole
got a winner?
reborn with a book of all
Yeah,
his
but you've got to make it into a trilogy these days. Everything's got to be a trilogy. Is there
In
any
threes?
Can you build that into 3 movies?
I guess when that protagonist has a child.
All right.
And he's got his DNA. Does he hand him the same book? Try and learn from those experiences.
Listen, like most sequels, you really lost the plot here.
The tough sequel, difficult one. Follow-up film.
Not gone well.
It wasn't a smash hit in the box office like the first. To be fair, talk about sequels, Terminator 2 was regarded as one of the best films of all time. So that was a pretty good sequel.
That was a very good sequel.
Better than the original. That's a rare thing to happen.
I don't know if I'd say better than the original.
It is. People don't even watch Terminator 1 anymore. Just watch Terminator 2. It's just got its own story. It's better.
Predator 2 is pretty good. You watch Predator movies?
I haven't watched Predator in about 15 years. So
The original Predator is phenomenal.
Yeah. It's one of those films I have seen, but I'm in no rush to see it again.
Lethal Weapon had great sequels.
Lethal Weapon was good. Police Academy, great sequel.
You know, I actually never saw Police Academy.
You never saw Police Academy? Get on that tonight. That is your homework.
Well, I'm working a double shift tonight, Hank, so
All right.
thanks for
when
rubbing that one in.
When it's 7 a.m. rolls in.
Yeah, maybe I'll watch it with my eggs this morning.
How do you like your eggs in the morning?
Sunny side up.
Okay.
I like the dipping factor of the sunny side up egg.
Okay, nice.
I don't think it's a true breakfast egg if you cannot dip something into it.
Do you want to put are you putting like sliced bread in lines, or you got like triangles you're putting into like in terms of the toasted bread?
Or you could do like an English muffin with some cream cheese, throw the egg on top of that. That's beautiful as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. After we're back into the game. Off in Simple's hands, and look at Rez. Position behind the fountain. We saw Electronic do this in the first half to no effect. And this is a great stack for NiP. It's all decided here, Henry. 3-on-3 essentially at this fountain. Simple. He's brought down to 23, and you think he just cannot take that fight anymore. And Rez follows it up. Bomb is down, and Get Right pushing out towards Long is able to take the op away from NaVi, and they've scrambling to get back in a position, and it's just not working, is it? It's all gone to hell. It's all gone the way of the ninjas.
It absolutely has. An aggressive push, a bit of a timeout, has got the match points. Remember now, if NaVi get it to overtime, there is a new addition into the last couple of seasons of Pro League. If you win in overtime, you only get 2 points now. If you lose in overtime, you still get 1. Consolation points, I guess you can call them. What are your thoughts on overtime in online leagues? There's others that just call it a draw if it's getting to this point. I think in terms of so many games being played, that might be the best way to do it.
Yeah,
just in case, like, we've got a tight schedule, lots of games to play. I think that's the best way to do it. Everyone just gets a point. Everyone wins.
Yeah.
Overtime like this kind of makes things a bit much. I guess at the same time, it means at the end of the season it's a lot less complicated. Either way, Jason, we're getting into another aggressive push. It's going to be Get Right pushing towards this area. Fountain is just such a hellhole for the frag team in right now. NiP are really pushing envelope on that side of the map. One player still waiting there to be Rez, who finishes things off in style. 3 kills in total. There'll be no overtime today. They'll get the full 3 points here on Overpass. And there it is, the first map between these two goes in favour of NiP. I think that was to be expected in this particular map. But NiP looked decent. Second half not as clean, but they managed to get 12 on the T side of Overpass.
Not nearly as clean. A brilliant first half, and really struggled in the second one to close it out. But yeah, really good stuff. And it was some of the older guys, the older stars. Force had a bunch of big rounds to open things up for him, and that was huge.
Recovery plays as well when they were down, like 4-on-3. Like, you come in with these huge spray downs like this. Either way, Jason, we will take a break and be coming back with the desk, and indeed the second map, so do not go anywhere. It's just warming up, I would say.